So this is a Samhain Altar. Everything on my altar is here for a reason. There's a story, a connection, a gift. Everything on this altar means something. I was taught in my tradition that your altar should be a place of art, that it's where we call upon the gods to give worship or to petition, and it should be worthy of them. Okay, let's go through everything and I'll share with you a little bit about it. But to begin with, this is the Mary L. Tarot and the Soul Cards 1 and 2. I've just completed a reading for a client. It's a stunning oracle and tarot deck, and they complement one another beautifully, especially for that dark, waning time of year which we're in. So this key, this belongs to my house. It's how old is my house? It's over 100 years old. This key was created in 1905. And this particular client, I just felt she needed some aspects of her shadow to unlock and to heal. She had the Hierophant there, who's also holding a key. And because I do ritual tarot, I did some spell working and healing for her as well. That's why that's there. These crystals have been changed over as well for Samhain, so that's smoky quartz. And this crystal belongs with the Mary L. Tarot deck. It's serpentine, it's beautiful, it's Australian and ethically sourced. Trying to do that more and more. To be honest, with crystals, I don't even know if it's possible. Anyway, we'll keep trying and believing people. This is my spirit candle. There's some over here. This is the mandrake, some mandrake oil and blends that I've created, and I'll give as a gift to a friend. And they also have in there, just having a look, this is an anhydro amethyst crystal, and amethyst is my birthstone, so I have a lot of different types of amethyst, but this is anhydro, which means there's little pockets of water in there. Water that was formulated at the millions of years ago. All water, of course, is original water. But yeah, this I like to use this stone when I'm journeying, doing subconscious work, working obviously with the shadow aspects of the water element. Healing aspects as well. Also working with ancestor magic, ancestor healing. So inherited trauma, past lives. It's one of my favorite little stones. I'll put it back. So just lots of candles. A lot of these candles are spirit candles. In fact, all of the large ones are. I use them as my star goddess candle, but then when I find larger ones, this is the biggest I found, I upgrade and make this my main one. And the others are just lit to help create that sacred space. Here are raven wings. So I did have the bird just die on the street, and I wanted to collect the bird before, I don't know, it was dumped in the rubbish. So I took the bird. It had just freshly died. I'm not sure how, but I asked permission, and I felt that I received a positive answer. And it's not the first time I've worked with Raven, and it asked me to, yes, gave me permission to use its wings and also its toes. And I've created these little fetishes. I'll show you. Which is one way I can work with the spirit of that animal. And these are hagstones. I searched for these for years and years and years. Could never find them. And then the summer that my mother died, I found many, so many. I don't actually give those away. I think it's unlucky to give those away, but I have them now, and I do create my personal fetishes with both of them. And again, this just adds to that energy of spirit on my altar and my reading table, because it's a working altar. That was a gift as well, this little baby bird skeleton. It was a Mother's Day gift from my son. Yeah, he knows his mother well. My athame. There's definitely a story here. So this one, it took me years to find one that I really resonated with. I think as far as tools go, the athame was one of the last ones to come to me. And I actually found this in Tasmania. When we first moved to Victoria, we headed down south to Tassie and did an incredible road trip. And there I found a blacksmith. And he welcomed us into his home. He showed me his forge. And then he allowed me to buy a blade. So he didn't normally sell things, but luckily he liked me. And he said, you can choose one. I chose this one. And it was a fair price. He could have charged me triple, but he didn't. I was just so happy to have it. And then I felt like another blade was calling to me. And a few years later, I caught up with my sister, reconciled with her actually. And I had told her that I was after a blade. There was a blade calling me and I wasn't sure which one it was. And then she said, I think I know the one. And she pulled this out, and this is my father's letter opener. My father died when I was 17. And I remember him opening the mail with this beautiful brass, heavy letter opener. I remember the cover too. That's a pity that's been lost, but nevertheless, it still, it has this beautiful handle, which was exactly what the frame was made of, and it had a beautiful chain. Maybe one day, if I ever find a replacement, if it's meant to come to me, it will. But she said, I think this is meant for you. And as soon as she pulled it out, I was like, oh yes. So I have two, and they're both. This one I use all the time, so it's always on my altar. But this one I use for ancestor work, particularly with this Samhain altar. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with me around my Samhain altar and hearing some of the stories that I have with my beautiful little objects. And yeah, until next time, be blessed.